Throughout the course of his campaign, Donald Trump has insisted that he will be protecting Social Security at all costs. Unlike his Republican opponents, he said that he will not cut Social Security, nor will he try to raise the retirement age. In fact, don't take my word for it, take his word for it. Now, he hasn't specifically stated how he's going to protect Social Security, whether he's going to raise the cap on taxable income, we have no idea. But what we do know is that the financial services industry has been salivating over Social Security for a really long time. They've been wanting to privatize it, and that would effectively destroy it. And they've been pressuring presidents on both the left and the right to try to privatize Social Security. So it started out with Reagan, and then Bill Clinton even tried to fully privatize it. However, due to the Monica Lewinsky scandal, he just simply didn't have the political capital needed to take on such a big task. So he couldn't pursue anything on his agenda, so it failed. And then we had George W. Bush, who tried to partially privatize Social Security. However, public opposition to his initiative stopped that. Now, President Obama even tried to cut Social Security. However, a combination of Republican obstructionism, since he wasn't cutting it enough, and Bernie Sanders' advocacy stopped him from doing that. And now, we're finally finding out how Donald Trump is going to, quote, save Social Security. And by save Social Security, it seems like he means privatize Social Security. And if he does, in fact, privatize Social Security, you don't save it, you destroy it. So Tom Lopert, the former mayor of Dallas, who it was announced Monday is a member of Donald Trump's landing team for the Social Security Administration, once released a plan calling for the privatization of Social Security and Medicare. I will never shy away from any issue, even the so-called third rail of entitlement reform, Lopert writes in his 2012 plan. Talk to any young person today, and they will tell you Social Security and Medicare won't be there for their generation. To preserve these vital programs, we first and foremost must not change anything for those ages 55 and older. These folks rely on their benefits, and we've made a promise to them. But for younger workers, we need to provide Medicare subsidies for the purchase of certified private plans, raise the retirement age, encourage greater retirement savings, and launch an initiative of personal retirement accounts to allow every American, not just the wealthy, to save and invest toward their retirement. Make no mistake, if we don't act now, these programs will go bankrupt. The simple fact in this debate is that people who oppose reform are the ones who want to destroy our entitlement system. Lopert's plan called specifically for raising the retirement age, incentivizing people with tax breaks to retire later, and encouraging private retirement savings by taking limits off of 401k and IRA plans. Lopert also argued that future generations have the option of voluntary personal retirement accounts that they'd control or have the option of getting benefits from a reformed Social Security system. So this guy is part of Trump's landing team on Social Security. He wants to privatize it. Now look, I'm not just being hyperbolic or speculating about the effects of privatization. We actually have empirical examples that we can look to see how devastating the effects of privatization was. Take Chile, for example. According to the LA Times, the Chilean program was promoted relentlessly by its creator, Jose Piñera, who got himself a sinecure at the Cato Institute out of the deal. From there, he fed American conservatives' fantasies of an obvious free market solution that works. He wrote for a Cato audience in 1997. In that same article, he declared that America's Social Security system will go bust in 2010. He boasted of how he single-handedly decided to undertake a structural reform of Chile's bankrupt retirement system that would solve the problem once and for all. Piñera and his fans talked up the Chilean workers' apparent gains during the system's early years when it seemed to be delivering double-digit returns and lavish pensions to its lucky beneficiaries. What the promoters never much emphasized was how the program actually had been made to work. Everyone entering formal employment after 1981 was required to deposit 10% of earned wages into individual accounts managed by a handful of investment companies, appointed by the Pinochet regime. Workers enrolled in the old system were goaded into abandoning it by cuts in existing benefits. Chile financed the transition by draining its large government surplus. An unprecedented bull market in Chilean stocks did the rest. But the seams soon showed. the World Bank determined that fees charged by those favored investment firms consumed fully half the pension contributions of the average worker retiring in 2000. The government surplus disappeared, and those outsized stock market gains faded away. Chilean workers undoubtedly know the most important fact about their program. It's not delivering the retirement security they were promised. The program now stands exposed as a simple-minded device to get the government out of paying for pensions by slathering risk onto the workers. And you've had mass protests in Chile over this privatization, and they want it undone. And you had countries like Argentina, who kind of follow the Chilean model to an extent, reverse it and renationalize retirements because it simply doesn't work. Now, here's one thing that people don't realize. This claim that Social Security going bankrupt, it's factually incorrect. And what people want to do, specifically what people on Wall Street want to do, is they want to undermine the public's confidence in Social Security and say, look, it's gone bankrupt. We have to act now. It's absolutely necessary that we privatize Social Security. But that's factually untrue. Currently, Social Security is solvent fully until 2034, and in the year 2017, it will be fully solvent until 2035, and so on and so forth. And even if it is no longer 100% solvent, it will still pay out approximately 75% of its benefits to workers. So no, Social Security is not going to go away. It doesn't need dramatic reform. All you have to do is tweak it a little bit. Lift the cap on taxable income, and it will be solvent almost until the end of the century. But they don't care about that. What they want to do is put their hands in the cookie jar and try to privatize it so that way they can get rich off of it. That's what people in the financial services industry do. That's what donors, the Republicans and Democrats, want them to do. Hence why the Democrat and Republican presidents have tried to do this. Not happening. We're going to fight back like hell. So by simply appointing this guy, Donald Trump is going back on his promise to protect Social Security. He lied to the American people. Now, I'm not surprised by this, but unfortunately, many of the workers who voted for him and thought that he would offer them a route out of poverty, they were duped. They were conned by this con artist. So it's despicable. It's disgusting that Donald Trump is taking a 180 on Social Security. But if they think that they're going to privatize it and there's not going to be hell to pay, think again. The American people stopped Bush from doing it when he thought he had a mandate to, and we're certainly going to stop Donald Trump from doing it.